Welcome to the season finale of MoTorque, where we bring you cars, bikes, adventure, classics, motorsport, and indeed whatever wheels that have torque. Here's a quick look at what we have in store for you this week. We bring you the Jeep Compass, America's latest challenger in the crossover market. A closer look at a beautifully restored Mk1 Ford Escort. The latest from the Classic Car Club, and highlights from the first round of the Asia Pacific Rally Championship.
Jeep is a brand name that is absolutely iconic, and they have always been associated with the ultimate off-road vehicles, since they were the ones that started it all with the original Jeep from World War II. Every single Jeep since then has had a heavy focus on off-road ability, with everything else coming second. So the idea of a Jeep branded crossover is about as alien a concept as seeing Sylvester Stallone playing the role of a dance instructor.
But you know, the people at Jeep are not unaware of the crossover phenomenon, and they've realized that there is a market there, and a very big one. So what we have here today is Jeep's very first entry in the crossover segment. It's called the Compass, and when you look at it, it immediately looks like the smaller version of their big and luxurious Grand Cherokee SUV. And that's not a bad thing. Now, the Grand Cherokee is a very competent on- and off-road contender, and it gives vehicles much more expensive a real scare. Can the Compass repeat that feat? We're about to find out. When you step inside the Compass, you immediately see that Jeep's designers have taken cues from the bigger Grand Cherokee and the iconic Wrangler. The dashboard shape, with the high center console and general squareness of design, brings to mind the Wrangler. It looks very utilitarian and tough. But certain other elements, like the seats and the door panels, are more reminiscent of the Grand Cherokee. Even the steering wheel is lifted straight from the Grand Cherokee and feels just as good to hold in the hands. That combination of elements shouldn't work together in theory, but somehow it manages to combine pretty well. And the interior of the Compass is a nice place to be. Also, it's quite interesting to look at. That's important in a sector where blandness is often the order of the day. Build quality too feels generally durable. Everything is assembled well, there are no huge panel gaps in here, and on test nothing rattled or squeaked. The seats themselves are comfortable, visibility is good, and all the controls are laid out really nicely and within easy reach.
The exterior styling draws a lot of influence from the larger Grand Cherokee, and in the right color scheme can make the Compass appear larger and more prestigious than it actually is. In fact, from a distance, it can even be mistaken for the Grand Cherokee itself, which is really a good thing. Now, the crossover segment doesn't usually rate style as a high priority, so it's refreshing to see something like the Compass, where styling was given a lot of thought. The Grand Cherokee inspired lines definitely help it stand out from the crowd and will be an attractive selling point.
Moving around to the rear end of the Compass, boot space is maybe not the biggest in the class, but at least the compartment is well shaped and well laid out. But the biggest trick the Compass has is this gadget right here. These two speakers hinge out, and apparently you can keep them like that and use them for what Jeep calls tailgate parties, whatever those may be. Crossovers like the Compass are going to spend 90% of their lives in the urban rush, so it's important that they work well. The people at Jeep clearly paid attention to what this market needed, so their very first crossover vehicle does everything that you'd expect of something in its class. It's quiet and well insulated, rides pretty well even on big wheels, and is small enough and nimble enough to be a doddle to drive in town. Even if you venture out of town, the Compass takes that in its stride. Under the hood is a 2.4 litre 4-cylinder with variable valve timing that puts out a pretty solid 172 bhp. It drives through a CVT gearbox with manual override that's pretty well matched to the engine. The crossover class is in general not known for rocket ships, but the Compass with its big engine is probably near the top of that class when it comes to speed. The handling of the Compass has no visors or any odd quirks. It feels like a well-sorted hatchback to drive, other than the slight high-up driving position and the tendency to roll a bit. It grips pretty well, turns in pretty sharply, and generally goes where you point it. Being a high-rise SUV, body roll is a bit of a problem, but it's better contained here than in some other cases. All in all, the Compass turns in a very competent all-round performance on the road.
The question of the day then is, can the Compass compete in the tough crossover segment? There's a lot of talent there indeed, but the American offering comes out swinging with some unique features, durable build, and a dose of good old American style to help it stand out. If that sounds like it appeals to you, then you may well find that this Compass is pointed in your direction. The Mk1 Ford Escort has attained an incredible level of popularity over the last couple of years. So many people are looking for them now that even a basic 1100cc two-door will be chased by at least half a dozen people, if it so much as appears in an advert.
But what we have here today is no ordinary Mk1 1100 two-door. Oh no. What this is probably the Mk1 Escort by which all in Sri Lanka should be judged. It's that good. High praise? Well, let's take a look at it and you'll see what I mean.
But before that, let's take a look at what makes the Escort so popular worldwide. Covering the full history of the model would probably take this entire episode and then some, so let's just look at some highlights. The Mk1 Escort was introduced by Ford in 1967 as its entry into the profitable small family car segment. At the time, its competition comprised of cars like the BMC 1100 and 1300, the Fiat 128 and the Renault 12, all of which were technically moving the game on with front-wheel drive, space-efficient bodies and trick suspension. Against those, the Escort seemed almost deliberately backward, with a stylish but somewhat space-restricted body, rear-wheel drive and a leaf-sprung live axle out back, as originally found on Ben-Hur's Chariot. Compared to the advanced BMC products and the exotic Continentals then, the Escort really did seem like old hat. Strangely though, car buyers didn't seem to mind one bit, and the Escort immediately set about becoming one of Ford's biggest sellers, unloading by the 100,000 to the streets of suburbia. Whatever the reason was, the Escort was a roaring success from day one. Still, big sales alone aren't enough to explain the legend, so what else was there? Simple. Competition.
What's a nice little family Ford like this one doing in a place like this? Starring in the new James Bond thriller on Her Majesty's Secret Service. This Ford is Escort, winner of the brutal Rome to Athens Acropolis Rally and the Saloon Car Championship of Europe.
The Escort may have been boringly conventional in its engineering, but everything was designed from the beginning with one eye on the racetrack, so that it could adapt to racing very well indeed. Especially in rallying, the Escort's adaptability and tuning potential made it one of the most successful rally cars of all time. The exploits of Roger Clark, Hannu Mikkola and co. are legendary in themselves, but as a result of all that, the Escort's legend was well and truly established. Ford cashed in on the race cars by introducing sporty road versions like the Mexico and RS2000, as well as the extremely specialized twin-cam and RS1600 models. Those cars have captured the collective imagination, and they are the reason why almost every two-door Escort around these days is being given bubble archers, side stripes, and having a bigger engine dropped in as people try to recreate them. All of which makes this particular Escort Mk1 something rather special. Its owner, Shane Walgamer, who is a fast Ford enthusiast through and through, set out from the beginning to create a car that was deliberately different from the legion of Mexicos and RS replicas around. Something that was truly unique and personalized to his own tastes. Of course, I also have to mention the attention to detail that Shane has put in. It's evident the second you sit in the car, and is what lifts this car head and shoulders above all the rest. The seats, for example, are fabulous Cobra racing buckets from the 1960s. And the dials are original items taken from a Lotus Cortina. And even the steering wheel is an OMP Corsica as seen in rally cars. It's tiny details like this which lifts this car into a whole other level compared to anything else out there. This car doesn't wear bubble archers, and to the untrained eye, it looks like a well-sorted base two-door from a distance. However, nothing could be further from the truth. This Mk1 is truly a wolf in sheep's clothing, and the best thing about it is that all the good stuff is under the skin. And it reads like the wish list of anyone building a Mk1 Escort.
When we touch the Ceylon, for as long as you are here on this earth, I feel alive. For as long as you are here on this earth, I feel alive.
Lumination electronic ignition and an electric fan have been introduced to keep it civilized and workable in everyday use, while still being lots of fun. Ensuring that all that power is transferred without any drama, the suspension has been totally sorted too, with a bigger anti-roll bar, Motorcraft bushings all round, and an X-Works rally car strut brace up front, as well as custom-built anti-tramp bars to the rear axle. Impressive though that sounds, it's not just a part list either. Everything adds up spectacularly well on the road. The car is tractable and usable if you need it to be, but give it some stick and it instantly snaps into a snarling beast that gives the full-on rally experience. The suspension mods keep it properly tied down as well, and despite our best efforts on tests, the car simply refused to be unsettled at all, sticking to its line and scooting through corners as if it was magnetized to the road. This was Shane's objective in the build. Make a car with classic appeal that can perform and handle with the best of them. And I have to say that this very car hits that target spot on.
For as long as you are here.
So now you can probably see why I said that Shane's Escort is the standard by which all Mark 1s in Sri Lanka should be judged. It's the level of detail, the attention to detail that has gone into this build that makes it this impressive. But that is not even the best thing about this car. The best thing is the fact that unlike so many other garage queens that are just parked up and admired, Shane actually uses this car the way it was built to be used.
Feel alive. Feel alive.
The Classic Car Club of Ceylon recently held a fun-filled track day for their members. The cars and drivers set off from Colombo towards the Pannala Race Track. After a hearty breakfast, courtesy of the Negombo Motorsports Club, the Classic entourage continued on towards the Pannala Race Track. At the track, a series of events were run, including sprint challenges, a relay, and musical chairs with cars. It was without a doubt a wonderful opportunity for the classic car owners and enthusiasts to get together and really put their machines through their paces. After lunch, the club members headed back to Negombo, where they enjoyed accommodation in one of the leading beach hotels.
Finland's Esa-Pekka Lappi and co-driver Jana Firm have taken out this year's opening round of the FIA Asia Pacific Rally Championship with a start-to-finish leading performance at the International Rally of Whangarei held this weekend. Driving the MRF Tyres team's Skoda Fabia S2000, Lappi extended his overnight lead to a winning margin of 4 minutes after winning 7 of the day's 8 remaining special stages. Returning to Whangarei's quayside town basin for the ceremonial finish, Lappi was thrilled at taking victory on his first visit to roads so well known to his mentors in the World Rally Championship.
Yeah, it was a very good rally, and even though there was quite hard conditions and not so easy, but yeah, we managed to do a very clean run, so I'm very happy.
Second was teammate Gaurav Gill from India, who pushed hard but was hampered by a rear differential mechanical failure during the final morning's loop of 4 stages. Happy to be able to match the pace of his teammate when things ran smoothly, Gill was pleased with his overall result.
So Gaurav, good start to the championship.
Yeah, it's a good start, I would say. Not the perfect. We've had a rusty time
and I took a little bit of time to get back to the speed, I guess. But I mean, as far as we finish 1 and 2 for the team, that's what is important for the entire team.
Subaru driver Hiroshi Asakura had been running well in third place and looked a safe bet for the podium, until he was caught out on the final stage of the morning and slid off the road in his Impreza. Asakura's downfall left Michael Young on the bottom step of the podium, a fine result for the Perth-based Kiwi in his Cusco TRD Toyota Vitz RS. As well as third in the APRC standings, Young picked up maximum points in the FIA Two-Wheel Drive Cup and FIA Junior Cup.
Third in APRC.
Yeah, it's a great start for Toyota. It never missed a beat all weekend. I didn't even have to lift the bonnet. It was just huge credit to Cusco. Like, the car is just amazing. So it's so easy to drive and just it's awesome.
India's Sanjay Takale has made the step up from 2 to 4-wheel drive rallying this season and was rewarded with a strong 4th place position in his Subaru Impreza this weekend.
Yes, first in N4. Last 3 years I came here, 11, 12 and 13. Every time I'm first, so maybe I can say a small hat-trick for me. Very lucky hunting ground, New Zealand. Beautiful country.
While Gill took maximum points in the Pacific Cup, there was a great battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, with Australia's Matt Van Tuinen heading fellow countrymen Bruce Fullerton and Simon Knowles.
Your wiper blades are one of the most important components of your car, especially in a tropical environment like ours, where rain can descend at any moment. Unfortunately, it's something that a lot of us forget to check, because you don't think of it. Now, wiper blades can be damaged by various things, including being parked in the sun too long, being damaged by dust and dirt trapped under them, and so on. So, when you're picking a set of wiper blades, you should pick something from a good brand that is resistant to conditions like ours. So we have here Suranga from Worth, who's going to tell us about a new wiper blade product that Worth has to solve this very problem. Suranga, please tell us about this new wonder blade.
So if I talk about 5 features, this has a graphite coating special rubber and also stainless steel rivet, increase service life of the wiper blade and strengthen the plastic rivet. And then the frame comes with 1.2 mm galvanized coating that prevents getting corrosion. And also this has tested in a lab 500 hours salt spray. And also it comes with the air spoiling
to deflect air outwards.
Right. And next, stainless steel splint give the rubber better support to the even wipe. Finally, various adapters for all types of vehicle. We have a unique fixing method. It has 7 steps. So while I am fixing, I will explain why it is important to the vehicle. Okay. Our first step is clean the windscreen properly. And step number 2, check the wiper arms. Check the wiper blade size. And remove the all wiper blades and fix the new wiper blade with the correct adapter. And make sure to put Worth logo appear to outside. And next step is do a dry wipe for 2 minutes. So now we are doing the dry wipe for 2 minutes. Why we are doing is to seal the graphite coat on the windscreen. The benefit is when you get bird drops or dust or nicotine layers, it's sealed on the graphite coat, so it's easily wipe off. Finally, we had to do a wiping with the windscreen washer. We call this product rapid windscreen cleaner. So the benefit is this is not a soap or a shampoo, it's an original windscreen washer. This protect your wiper blades rubber. This maintain your wiper blades rubber.
You can clearly see that when you follow this process, you get streak-free wiping and a very clear windscreen with clear vision ahead, something that is very important. Suranga, tell me, so if our viewers want to get this fitted, where can they get it done?
Yes, as I said last week, so you can go to all the top leading car agents and service stations like Auto Mirage, CarePoint, Labs and Dr. Auto, and also mechanical workshops.
Okay.
And make sure to get the 7-step done before you fix the wipe blade, so it enhances your wipe blade life.
That's very important. So if you're looking to get this fitted, make sure you follow the correct process. Well, that about wraps up our top tip for this week from Worth.
This gets. Ow.